What is going on, everybody on YouTube and podcast? Obviously, you know, if you've been following me on YouTube, that my name is Griffin Thomas, but for those of you who are tuning into the podcast, my name is Griffin Thomas. My YouTube channel is the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur. I talk about various things from just how to get out of debt, which is what we're going to talk a little bit about today, and just staying out of debt, getting ahead financially, achieving financial freedom, starting that dream business that maybe you never started or ever dreamed that you wanted to start. We just talk about how to go about doing that. I talk about a whole bunch of people that I just admire, from Dave Ramsey to Gary Vaynerchuk to Tim Ferriss and so on. I suggest books to you guys. I suggest many types of content to you guys that I've dug through over the past few months, few years. If you don't know much about me, I'm a 20 going on 21-year-old myself. I was in a big debt hole. I mean, I wouldn't say too big. It was about $11,000 is what it was to start this actual journey. But at one point, I had 7 maxed out credit cards. Actually, I had to move back home. Those of you that have been following me on the YouTube channel obviously know that. But yeah, today is just going to be kind of just a quick update on my debt-free journey. Like I said, for those of you that are listening on the podcast, the YouTube channel name is Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur. If you want to hop over there and subscribe and check out all the content there, I have over 100 videos, and those of you that are on the YouTube channel know that. But to start out the journey, obviously I had roughly $11,000 worth of debt, a lot of it being just car debt. And real quick before I get into that, obviously for the YouTube family, the podcast will probably be titled Financial Freedom in 2018 and Beyond. If it changes, I'll let you guys know for sure. But anyways, like I said, I started out with roughly $11,000 worth of debt. I had a video about that, just the baby steps and explaining the baby steps that Dave Ramsey preaches himself. And I had exactly $10,755 worth of debt, $8,000 of it being a car that I just straight up, bought just out of impulse. I kind of been looking around for cars for a while, and then once I stepped foot on the dealer, there was no going back at the end of the day. And anyways, point being that I was going to end up being in a hole on that car. The car's only worth roughly $8,000 to $10,000 Kelley Blue Book not trade-in value, Kelley Blue Book private party seller value, which means if you were to sell it on Facebook Marketplace, if you were to sell it on Craigslist, anything like that, it would be worth roughly $8,000 to $10,000. So I just settled for $8,000, got rid of it, because if I were to pay the whole loan, the whole term or whatever, it's going to end up being a $12,000 car. My interest rate was around 15%, 15.25, I think to be exact. So just a stupid interest rate on a stupid car that I didn't need to begin with. And I actually sold it, like I said, settled for $8,000. That knocked my debt alone down to $2,755. However, I did get a $1,000 personal loan just to go get me a little beat. It's not even really a beater, other than the fact that the trunk has a dent in it. I bought a good little 2005 Dodge Neon. The only thing that needed replaced was the battery, and when I got it inspected, it needed a new rear assembly hub, something like that. Pretty much the bearing inside of that holds the wheel on and whatnot was just shot, and you could literally shake the wheel. So that was $50. If I didn't know how to replace it myself, it would have been $205. But that's where just searching on YouTube, looking at how to do stuff on your own can really pay you off in the long run. So I definitely suggest that for you guys. You can save lots of money just by learning how to do stuff yourself. They wanted $207 to be exact at my local tire shop, and I went and looked at O'Reilly. After taxes, only $52 part with a either 1 year or lifetime warranty. I don't remember which one I bought. I think I just bought the 1 year warranty one because I don't plan on having the car very long, obviously. But it only has 150,000 miles on it, which obviously isn't really low, but it's not stupid high either. So it'll get me around. It has decent gas mileage, all that good stuff. So yeah, that added $1,000 to the debt. So I'm sitting at about $3,755 currently, and that actually doesn't include a $35 payment I just made on my Discover card. Doesn't include a $25 payment I made on my Chase card. So realistically sitting close to around $3,700. And if you haven't been keeping up with me, like I said, this is obviously my first podcast. So for those of you that don't know, I also am a strong believer that if you're trying to get out of debt, trying to just really get back on the right track financially, you should definitely consider getting another part-time job, starting a side hustle, something that requires little to no money but makes you a decent amount of money where you can literally throw it all at debt, throw it at your emergency fund, and so on. I'll talk about my emergency fund here in a minute. But I'm starting Order Up, and if you don't know what Order Up is, I highly suggest you look it up and see if it's available in your area. Chances are it is. I like to refer to it as the Uber of food. Pretty much people go on Order Up and order from places that traditionally do not deliver. Me as a driver, I put my app on my phone as active, and pretty much it's just like Uber. When you get an order, you go do it, and then boom, you collect the money. You get like $3 or $4 per trip, and a lot of times they say that you get like multiple trips in one, so you get 2 or 3 trips off of one order, like from one place. So then one run is what they call it, turns into like a $12-15 run, and that doesn't include any tips, which they say quite a few customers tip. Not all, obviously. Some people are just uptight, but I mean, if you can make $12-15 off one run, and then on top of that, make tips and all that good stuff, which obviously you can learn how you can be the best you can be to earn the tips, obviously. But chances are I'm just banking that I'm going to make around $500 a month, and that is just strictly going towards debt. Period. I mean, I thought for a minute that, well, maybe I'll pull out some money to throw in my business or in my YouTube channel or in advertising and so on, but I was like, no, I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to get out of debt, so then when I get out of debt, that'll allow me all this money to invest in me, myself, and my business. So, I mean, that's definitely a good route to go, no matter if you're starting a business, if you're just now learning to get out of debt or anything like that. You should definitely look at consider getting a side job. You have to think, this is short term, this isn't long term, this is just until you get out of this mess, no matter what your mess may be. Obviously, there's a lot of you that probably are in a far worse situation than me. I highly suggest you guys, if you haven't heard of them or haven't really watched them too much, just pick up, go on your app store, on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and download the Dave Ramsey app, and he will literally send you a notification every day his show goes live. And I would highly suggest you guys just going through and just listening to it at least for, like, I would say 30 minutes to an hour a day, just to kind of get you in that mindset. Listen to everybody's stories. I notice that whenever I pay attention to, like, just like-minded people, so to speak, be it business or trying to get out of debt and so on, when I'm constantly reinforcing those thoughts in my head, it's a lot easier to stay on track than when I'm going off with buddies that are just throwing everything on credit cards and so on, because then I don't know what it is. It's not that I feel like, but in the back of your mind or something, you just feel like you kind of have to keep up or something, so then I'll slip up and spend money I didn't need to spend. I don't go into debt because I no longer have credit cards, but it just delays my paying off the debt, so to speak. So, I mean, definitely consider, I mean, some people don't like Dave Ramsey, some people do. It's just hit or miss with a lot of people. But definitely consider at least checking him out. And then, obviously, of course, you can stay tuned for the podcast and the YouTube videos on this channel, because they will keep coming for sure. But, yeah, like I said, kind of got off on a rant there, but just, this is short term until you get out of the situation or move up in job or whatever the case may be. It's just a temporary sacrifice for a long-term reward. I think personally that I'll probably still keep working Order Up until my actual business or businesses start making me enough money where I just couldn't use, I mean, if I can literally do Order Up for like 2 days a week and bring home $500 a month, I'm going to do that until, I mean, the $500 a month just isn't worth going and getting. I mean, I'm going to have to making a decent amount of money for me to not do that anymore. It's just too easy money, if you ask me. So, I mean, it's just your mindset at the end of the day. If you really, really are sick and tired of being sick and tired, sick of making payments, sick of just having to add 2 to 10 or however many how many debts you have, if you're just sick of having to do that for your budget every month, I would definitely consider just sucking it up. Stop watching Grey's Anatomy, stop watching House of Cards, all this BS, and hop on a new job, not new job necessarily, hop on another job, hop on a side hustle, just do anything to bring in extra money until you get the debt paid off, get the emergency fund full, and just get to where you want to be financially. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, it'll be 10 times easier, but you have to reach that just point where you're just like, I've had it, before you actually jump and make those decisions. So, another thing I wanted to talk about is just my emergency fund. So, like I've been mentioning, my emergency fund, I have it in Acorns investment app, and yes, with the stock market tanking yesterday, I did lose like $10 in my emergency fund, which, yes, just goes to show that whenever you are investing your emergency fund, even though it's not I mean, it is investing, but I don't see it personally as investing, but that's a whole nother topic. It's in a very conservative portfolio, but I just see it as a savings account that can make me a little bit more money than 0.05% interest. That's where me and Dave Ramsey kind of don't agree a little bit, as he sees your emergency fund more as insurance, where it's not going to make you any money. If anything, it's going to cost you money. Well, guess what? Same thing happened here. It cost me a little bit of money, but chances are it's going to bounce back up. But currently, my emergency fund is right around $150 to $200, and I'm still on track for the end of the month to have that emergency fund funded, especially with starting order up here this week. I mean, it's just really going to start, things are going to really start going as soon as I start with order up, because with that, I can literally work as much as I want. So that'll be nice for sure. And with my debt, I know I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here, but with my debt, I did the calculation based off of the extra money I'll be bringing from order up versus on top of my minimum from my job and whatnot that I would be able to throw at my debt. At the minimum, like at the latest, I'm going to have my debt paid off before my birthday. I'm actually due to have it paid off in 5 months, so that would be June, what? Well, technically it'd be July 5th at the latest. My birthday's June 24th, but I think I'm on track to have my debt paid off by June 1st. That is the ultimate goal. I think it's definitely doable. Like I said, this is just like a minimum, like a minimal standpoint. This is if I only take my order up money plus $250 a month out of my budget for paying off debt. I think I can do a lot more than that for sure, but like I said, we'll see. I always like to kind of underestimate myself and just think this stuff's going to happen and whatnot, and then obviously the emergency fund still has to be completely funded. So I mean, we'll just see, but my goal for sure is June 1st, and we're definitely going to make it happen, and as always, I will keep you guys posted. But other than that, like I said, just that emergency fund is a must. That is obviously your baby step one, is to get $500 to $1,000 saved in an account. If you wish, you can do acorns like me, or you can just put it in a traditional savings account. Just make it hard enough where you're not going to pull it out. Like, I personally would not put it in a bank, in your bank that you use on a daily basis. I wouldn't open a savings account with your checking account. I'd put it at a totally different bank, obviously in your same town, so it's still like somewhat easy to get to, but I would definitely put it in a different bank, just because whenever you're looking at your checking account balance, when you see your savings with $1,000 under there, it's really easy to transfer that money into your checking account and then go and spend it on what you think is an emergency, but that is actually not. So that's just a little tip there for you guys. But like I said, the whole point is just stay focused. I made this video because, one, I told you guys I would keep you guys updated on this journey. And for those of you that are just now tuning in with podcasting and whatnot, obviously I'm probably going to put this as my first or second episode on the podcast channel. Like I said, started out with $10,000, almost $11,000 of debt, currently down to just under $4,000, and the goal is to have it paid off before summer. So June 1st, it will be paid off for sure. The emergency fund will be funded with $1,000 by the end of the month. And when I say $500 to $1,000, if you make under $20,000 a year, your goal should be $500 for your emergency fund. Just get that $500 as soon as possible. But for everyone else, $1,000 should be your emergency fund. And if you make under $20,000 a year and you still want $1,000, then by all means, do whatever you can to, one, get your income up, obviously, and two, get that $1,000. Do whatever it takes. But yeah, just stay on course, guys. Do not get distracted. It's very easy when we go and hang around flashy family members, flashy friends, people that just like stuff. I mean, we all like stuff at the end of the day, let's be honest here, but you just have to know that you're making temporary sacrifice for the long-term race, long-term haul, whatever you wish to call it. It's just, life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. If you want to be able to relax in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, then you have to just sacrifice your 20s and 30s at the minimum and just get to work. Get to work, keep your head down, worry about you, worry about yourself. As long as you got a roof over your head, you got some good food, you got some good health, and you're saving your money and investing it wisely, building a business or whatever you wish to do, then just be happy with who you are, be happy with what you do, and if people judge you for that, then forget them. They're not even worth worrying about or even having in your life, for that matter. But that's pretty much it for this podcast and this video, everyone. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you are new to me and the YouTube channel or the podcast, definitely make sure to head over to whichever you're hearing this on. If you're listening on the podcast, head over to the YouTube channel. Like I said, it's the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur. And if you're watching me on YouTube, definitely make sure to hop over to the podcast. That will be, like I said, I'm going to just name it for now, Financial Freedom in 2018 and Beyond. And we'll just see where it goes from there. And I also have a Facebook page dedicated to this whole movement that I got going on. It is also called Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur. So if you want to just check that out on Facebook, I'll try to link it in the YouTube description. But until next time, guys, make 2018 your year. Let's keep winning financially, and let's go save some money and make some money this year.